Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Train Matt, and welcome to the weekly timetable for the week of February 8th, 2015. We are into our second month of the brand new year, and I've only screwed up the numbers a few times, so that's fantastic. As far as statistics go, I've had a much greater number of days where I haven't screwed up what year it is. But, this week, we didn't screw up much of anything. In fact, we started with a fantastic video that had a fantastic, first 10 minutes or something like that. And it was Simulation Protocol Overload number 17, the dangerous one. Now this is the appropriately termed dangerous area that Weibold had titled out of the three. And I don't think it worked exactly as planned because it didn't set everything on fire. We have fire problems later in the episode as well, which leads me to believe there's something wrong with fire spread, maybe in that area, maybe on the map. Something like that. I mean, if I were the map maker, I guess it would make sense to kind of stem the fire spread, but this area looked like it was designed around such a thing, so I'm not sure why that would be appropriate or not. Or why that would be appropriate at all, I should say. Of course, this is another one of those areas where Weibold steals the wool away from us again, which it isn't really a problem, and it is kind of funny, but my problem with it, especially in this area, is the way we went through was incredibly dangerous. Not in the sense that mobs could have gotten us, but in the fact that we could have fallen into lava. We were bridging over lava more than once, and died and lost everything, which in a map where we don't have access to any more iron could have been problematic. Frankly, I just wish he would tell us when he's going to do something like that, so that we don't have to put ourselves in danger. And he can just go ahead and do it. And if he wanted to conquer the area by himself, then we would have gone and done something else. But that's a problem for another time.
See ya. Oh, no.
Weibold, I need you to press a button.
What button?
That one.
Okay. Is this gonna kill me?
I have
you really
no
think
idea.
that I would leave you in this chaos without a way back? Thanks, Matt Baker.
Hey, what?
Thanks.
On Tuesday, we had Trainman Plays Chrysaor's Locomotion, episode 167. We're getting up there in the numbers. Of course, some would say we're already well up there. But I think we're up there far enough that we can afford to have a business train running around the layout. And that's exactly what we have. That Empire State Express that I bought a while back, well, combination Empire and 20th Century Limited, because we have the engine and the coaches that don't match. But the train, we pull it out of Steamtown when we get it into active service, which is something that most railroads around here would never permit, but happened on my railroad because we're cool like that. We're still running steam engines anyways. It isn't even anything special anymore. But one of the things that was special about this episode was magically teleporting trains. Because we've had a problem with disappearing trains in the past. On the map with Hell, we had we had the grain trains that would remove themselves from the map and put them into storage for no reason at all. I never figured out why this is, and apparently this map has been doing it to us a little bit as well. I still don't know what causes it, but apparently trains can also magically switch places, because somehow a big boy ended up down in the lower section and one of the plastic pellets trains ended up in the upper section. Somehow. I don't know how that's possible. There are some sort of connections, but I really don't know how you would get to said connections, especially when they both had full loads. And they had made it through the correct waypoints. Made it through. Their schedule said they made it through. I don't know. I didn't get to follow them and see. I assume if I'm following them, they won't do anything wrong, because I'm watching them and that's bad. But I just have to deal with this very unusual problem that seems like it's going to crop up from time to time. Although the teleporting trains may just be confused trains.
Keep an eye on you for a minute. And you got down there. How did you get down there? And you're obviously stuck down there, because there's no way out. I know there's no way out. Everything's falling to pieces. Yeah, I know you're supposed to get there. Did you and him magically switch places or something? Did the game get your item, or, you know, your data value confused or something?
On Wednesday, we had War Thunder episode 45, Tier 4. Now, it took us long enough. We didn't even start out in Tier 1, I think. We started out in Tier 2, if I recall correctly, because I'd already been playing the game a little bit. No, we started out in Tier 1. We had our first episodes out there, but I didn't start from the ground floor, as it were. I started from a little bit higher than that, not the pea shooters. But I have kind of evolved in the other tiers as well. Recently, I cracked 5 tanks in Russia, and that was my last lineup because I have 5 slots in every country. That was my last lineup that I hadn't filled yet. So I had 5 planes, 5 tanks in the U.S., 5 planes, 5 tanks in Germany, 5 planes, 5 tanks in, well, Britain doesn't have tanks, but 5 planes and 5 planes in Britain and Japan, and I had 5 planes and 4 tanks in Russia for a little while. Now I'm up to 5 and 5, and I got a new tank for Russia earlier today. So, well, I wouldn't really call it a tank, but point being that, even though it took me a while to get into Tier 4, I've been diversifying my profile. I've been playing tanks, playing, you know, other countries and other countries' tanks as well. So, just because I was a little behind coming into Tier 4 doesn't mean I'm behind the curve. That's my excuse, at least.
It's like they all started at the same time. Really, I hit nothing? These guys are invulnerable these days.
Back in my day, you could hit an AA without even trying.
Oh my god! Suck it.
No! Crap!
Oh my god! Friggin' yak.
On Thursday, we had the Zombie Train episode 109, track work. Of course, we did what's probably going to be the last of the track work, connecting Galgora and Lambit. Now we just have terrain stuff to work on, which, all things considered, aside from the canyon, actually, should be fairly simple. Fairly simple. Not very simple, but it's really just going to be one continuous slope that we're going to go, that we're going to go over with a raise tool to give it some hills, or a lower tool to give it some depressed areas. But however that turns out, I hope it turns out well. If we try hard enough, it should turn out well. My biggest hope is that we get El Dorado Canyon back in full swing. The 6%, unfortunately, right before the canyon is still going to be there. But if you can push your train up out of there, you can disconnect the helpers at Aperture Lumber and send the train continuing up the hill, which should be no more than maybe 3%. Or maybe even lower than that. It depends how well we can do this.
But it's just that kind of thing where I was like, oh, this sounds like it'd be... Okay, that just sounds like it'd be, you know, interesting and kind of cool looking. And quick update from TJ involving a steam engine that he talked about, and that I helped him build. If you recall from a couple of episodes of the Terminus ago, he built a boiler with my help, and it's apparently going to the State Science Fair, so I hope he can talk about that on Saturday. I'll text him back and tell him that right now.
On Friday, we had Trayman's Fever, episode 24. A couple of new things, and that's kind of a mundane title for what it was. We're really sort of cracking into getting this good system sorted out. We've bought... one of the new things was purchase of electric lines and electric engines for the mainline service. Now, we have electric engines on the Impossible Railway, but they weren't a huge success, unfortunately. But as long as we get these guys in normal service, they run as fast as... These are new engines, by the way. They run as fast as the steamers that we have, and they have a much higher rating in terms of tractive effort. So they'll be able to get up those hills much easier on that stupid hilly bridge.
I think it's time. Set line. I don't even know what this line is. Oh. Hold on. I know what I did wrong. Actually, no. Let this guy continue. Why would I pause? I know what I did wrong, though. The one thing I neglected on the other depot purposefully, I neglected on this one by accident. I was unable to find path to stop because I didn't electrify that.
On Saturday, rounding out the week mostly, we had Space Engineers episode 29, Thrusters, alternatively titled Achilles' microphone is still broken. And this is the last episode where his microphone is broken, so be happy with that. But we get to move on from a lot of the fiddly bits on the inside of the ship to me building the framework for the end of the ship. Now, TBA and I have since been on and done a considerable amount of work on stuff, and when you see the next Space Engineers episode, other than the Hyperion being upside down relative to the asteroid, which was not on purpose at all, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more steel plates finished, and we have a thruster almost finished, I think. I don't remember where exactly we started the next episode, but we've gone quite a long way since then, and the infinite world is not far off.
And frankly, I could do a lot more framework, and then we're just going to have to build it. Just going to have to build it. I say it like it's such a trivial thing. Now, this is... For those of you watching that are part of Space Engineers, if Achilles comes and sees the end of this episode, he's going to see my insanity at work.
And then finally on Sunday, earlier today, we released the Terminus Podcast, episode 20, the Building Podcast. This is not about building, it is about buildings. But of course we can't use plurals around here. So we have the Building Podcast, where we look at some buildings on the webcam instead of trains, because it's one of those movable ones and someone's screwing with us. I have my suspects. But it's a very interesting podcast. We have a new guest. We have some callbacks to some old jokes. And we have a very interesting locomotive versus. So go check that out. And one more thing you should check out, other than the weather map that goes crazy live on air, which is one of the videos of the week this week, is the actual video of the week this week. Now, you may have seen this guy's predecessor, or maybe even the original upload of this, but this is the Acid Interstate V2, and this is Minecraft The Far Lands, a long straight stretch of minecart track, and the Acid Shaders mod, which if you don't know what that is, you're going to find out by watching this video. The reason this video is particularly important that I post the link in the description is it's not linked to in the search on YouTube. It's linked to via the old version of the video, but this is the 60 FPS version, which is enough frames to make you a little bit nauseous. So, if you're squeamish, maybe don't watch the video, but definitely at least check out the beginning. And he's done some very interesting things with this roller coaster, this Acid Interstate, to make it cool, like really cool. Cool beyond the fact that the terrain is warping up and around like that. Cool like the music, which I'm not sure where this song has come from, but it's gotten stuck in my head enough, is synced to torches flying by, so they're synced to the beat. Anyways, that's it for me today. I have to apologize on air to Shortline Gamer KSP. Is that your name? That's your name, right? Shortline Gamer KSP? Yeah, the Shortline Gamer KSP. There was a case of mistaken identity there, completely my fault. I apologize, and I couldn't find you on Steam. I left a comment about this. But if I can find you on Steam, maybe I can talk to you a little bit. I heard you want to be a guest on the Terminus Podcast, and maybe if you're cool, like I am. Hey, there's an ad for Ellis Medicine. I didn't know I was a doctor. You can come on the Terminus Podcast with the rest of us. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We're not really in the department of turning down guests. I thought you were somebody else which deserved to be turned down. Instead, you are someone that I don't know if you're just... I don't know what you deserve. So, I'm going to try and make it up to you. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next week. Trainman out.